talking about some Strange.
Ooh.
Yes.
Some doctor?
Yes. No, Stranger Things.
Oh.
Actually, something that just really grabbed hold of us really good back on the old Netflix channel.
I once had a doctor show me some Stranger Things.
Did she?
You just assume it's a girl. I like
Well,
that.
he actually told me this story.
Oh, okay.
A little over a year ago, Stranger Things 1 came out and blew all of our collective minds.
So what are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about Stranger Things
Yes.
Season 2, theories.
Kind of the things we're excited about, the things we loved about the first one,
All
like
right.
first impressions of the first one.
like
If we
this.
loved the first one.
Oh, we may have a stranger among us.
Just joking, everybody
I like
loved
that.
the first season.
Who doesn't like Stranger Things?
Everybody loved it.
All right, so we're going to be talking about Stranger Things. Thanks for joining us.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy a little bit of this installment of
Geek&Stein! We're back.
Yes, I did mention the part about the LRM Online, right?
No?
No? No?
Go ahead and tell them.
LRM Online. They're featuring us. They think we're something special.
Exclusively.
Yes.
They cover neat geek news and articles and theories and all kinds of fan media.
It really is a fanboy's
Dream. Yeah.
Some type of dream.
We went the same place, dude. So yeah, check out LRM, and you're probably checking them out right now because you're watching us on their website.
That is so strange.
Crazy. Strange.
It's a strange thing.
That'd be like the word.
When we say strange, that's the
word
word
of the
day.
All right, so it's been a little over a year since Stranger Things 1 hit. It
Yeah.
was July of 2016, if I recall correctly. How has your life changed since Stranger Things 1?
There's definitely been like an emptiness, like a darkness since that show ended. I think I'm on my third time watching this the season 1.
Nice. It left a little hole.
Now, let me ask you guys. Netflix is known for letting you binge, but would it have been better to come out once a week for a while and keep that going?
No, not for me.
Because as soon as we got done watching it,
We're never going back.
it was like, oh,
Yeah.
We can't go back to that format. It's no. I think I want my media now. And,
Stick a fork in it.
and
Right.
I want it to indulge me in my impetuous needs.
Because why sleep when you can just watch more Netflix?
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
work?
And I think good news for us is that Netflix wants to do more stuff like Stranger Things because that show did something for them that no other show did, and that was to have buku merchandising bucks.
Well, let me ask something. Let me ask Luke, who's joining us.
This is our guest,
This
Luke.
is
Special
Luke.
guest Luke.
I
And he's here because he has a love for Stranger Things, right? That's really
I
what
like
you're here because you
Strange
like Stranger
Things.
Things. We all like Stranger
Yeah.
Things. Luke's here, special guest because he likes it too. So
On this very special
Yes.
this is
episode.
very special. Don't forget how special this episode
probably the
is.
greatest
Oh my gosh.
special
The greatest.
episode ever.
What do you think made Stranger Things such a success? Such a just
A phenomenon.
a phenomenon.
Um,
What about it struck out of other Netflix shows?
How
that
and where
aren't?
did it grab you?
Well, for me, I don't get into a whole lot of TV shows. I really honestly didn't get into a whole lot of the 80s nostalgia. I got to be honest. So most of the movies that you guys talk about when we're together, I'm going, I have no idea what that is. But then Stranger Things comes along, and I'm going, this is this is what you guys were going on about. This is awesome. And so really, it's only after seeing Stranger Things that was like my portal
Yeah.
into the past now, and I've started like learning new things about
That-
all of this 80s nostalgia
So
that I missed out on.
You're nostalgia'd up now.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
but
getting
that's
there. Yeah,
interesting
yeah.
that this is, we've got somebody, because I definitely come from a nostalgia
Right.
realm. Like, I mean, I love Stranger Things because of all the things that it is calling to and representing. And
You practically live in the 80s still, though.
I do,
Like,
yeah.
you force your kids to watch VHS, and
yeah,
yeah, you guys still watch old Saturday morning cartoons.
we breathe asbestos.
Yes.
We do all kinds of 80s stuff. Yeah, no, I do force them to watch like old cartoons on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
We just did it this past morning.
Not
I was like,
joking.
They were
We
like,
want to go outside and
I was
play.
like,
Dad."
no, you're gonna watch these cartoons for 4 hours.
One of your son's first phrases, if I recall correctly, was Indy Jones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hindi.
Hindi. Oh,
Hindi Jones.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the H came from, but he calls it Hindi Jones.
It's
They love Indiana.
It's
Jones.
all the asbestos.
Yeah, it's all that asbestos we're breathing. I serve it like cereal.
Now, how far after Stranger Things was released on Netflix did you watch the show?
It was pretty close.
Was it pretty close?
We'd heard a couple of our friends. I think you were one, and then we had some friends close to where we were living at the time that they raved about it, and so we were like, well, I guess we'll check it out. We watched one episode.
And your wife is into it too.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes.
Which is a nice-
She loves
The
that
world
show.
can wait.
That's
Yeah.
that's
This.
always good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always good when you have a
we
significant
lost a
other.
lot of sleep for about 3 nights.
Well worth
sleep.
it. Now, I think I was a little late to the game. I think you guys had talked it up like a real big game. Like, oh, Justin, this is gonna be something
Which is
you're gonna love. You're gonna love to watch this. And I was like,
That's a big problem for me. I do talk things up a little.
a little bit. Here's
Always
another
the greatest.
Here's
Yeah.
another show I gotta
Yeah.
get into. I gotta, invest a lot of time. And I think, like you, first episode, I'm like, I'm kicking myself for not watching this sooner.
Yeah.
What do you think it was about that show that caught fire for the public, for people?
I think the characters, the four boys. I mean, even the teenagers, the crew that they like kind of, they came together to beat try to beat the Demogorgon. So I think that all of us want to believe that if we were there, we would have been able to kick ass.
Yeah.
We would have been
Right
the ones in
alongside
there.
them.
Oh yeah, we'd have known what to do.
Yeah.
We'd have been on the walkie-talkie. We'd have had the meetup point. Yeah, we'd have, wrist rocketing
Yes,
it up.
yes.
So I think that's what I loved about it. That's what drew me in, were the characters and.
Excellent.
What do you think, Justin? What made this show take the world by storm, or at least America? I mean, it kind of was overnight. All of a sudden, everybody was watching Stranger Things. It was everywhere. There was parodies. There were probably infinitely more hours of people dissecting the show than
Yes.
the show itself online. I mean, you can just find hours and hours and hours of people going over every little thing. Why was Stranger Things such a phenomenon?
Oh, I think it's for the love that the directors and the people in place that wanted to make it, just their love and all the homework that they did and brought to that. And I think you guys can speak more to that than me, because you guys like to dive in and read all the
Duffer
stuff-
brothers
stuff
are,
behind it.
are the ones behind Stranger Things, and yeah, they've definitely been pretty vocal about their love for the 80s, for nostalgia, for all things Stephen King and Steven Spielberg, and I think they tried to package as much of that vibe and heart into it as they could.
But speaking of that, all those things they base it off of, this is bigger than all of those things. I mean, we talked a lot about it when it came out. Stephen King movies don't do well. The books have long been beloved, but the movies don't really do really well until recently. But Stranger Things blew up using that as an inspiration. I mean,
So
you're not going to find a ton of Dungeons and Dragons players out there. There's a lot of them, but it's
Right.
not like that's part of the cultural zeitgeist that everybody's doing.
no, you're
But
right.
Stranger Things is way bigger than D&D.
But Stand By Me, wasn't that Stephen King as well?
It was, but
Yes.
if you
And
look at
those were
what it made,
that was the banding together of the kids. So I think that's
Right.
like
It's definitely
a piece
there's
in there.
definitely an influence, but
Yeah.
it didn't do well.
it
It's
didn't do
not
well
like
in the
it
box
was,
office.
Yeah.
None of the
Oh,
movies,
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of Stephen King's stuff is bombed
Yeah, actually, it is now the biggest Stephen King movie
by a lot.
ever made.
By a lot.
And
And
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, check this out though. There's a circular thing there, because I would dare say that it is certainly inspired by Stranger Things, and Stranger Things is inspired by Stephen King. And so there's this thing of like Stephen King movies never did very well
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
Stranger Things came out, and now it is taking the world by storm.
Is that meta?
and I
It's
wonder,
kind of meta,
Yeah.
dude. It's like this circular meta.
and I
thing.
wonder what the time frame is on there. When were they filming it?
The main character from Stranger Things, who I consider the main
Uh-huh.
character, they cast him in it after Stranger Things.
Okay, so they knew Stranger Things was out.
So
Okay, so
Stranger
that
Things
does
hit
lead to
big.
the idea that they said, okay, let's just follow the
Then they
Stranger
cast the
Things
kid.
formula.
Yeah.
And honestly,
And-
I wish all the Stephen King movies would go back and just do that then.
And
Just
to
go
be
and
fair,
be like
to be
Stranger
fair,
Things.
like if you haven't seen it, go see it. Because if you like Stranger Things, you'll like it.
it feels like a
It
Stranger
feels
Things movie.
yeah, it
Oh my
feels
God.
like an episode right out of Stranger
I've seen it
Things.
3 times. I love it.
It's pretty fun.
I cannot wait for that one.
Definitely
to come out.
hitting on the same nostalgia points.
Mhm.
Kids banding together, taking down the monster. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's great. So, but we're talking about Stranger Things.
What I took away from the show that really like impressed me,
Yeah.
and I think you touched on that. The characters, the main characters are cool, but even the ones that aren't in the foreground, the ones that kind of play a background role, they're just as interesting. They're just as fun. The Chief's 2 sidekick cops. Oh my gosh, they're so funny.
The
Yeah.
idiot and the smart one.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. The fandom for Barb.
Yes.
It's uncanny. There's shirts. There's
Love
bumper
Barb,
stickers.
dude.
There's like everybody loves Barb.
She's kind of she's like the moral high bar for the show,
Yeah.
right?
Is Barb the moral high bar?
I mean, she's the moral high bar.
She's almost not in the show at all.
Yeah.
I don't get the whole thing about Barb.
Well,
But that's fine. I'm glad people have
She's
like this
the
big
Boba
fandom
Fett
for her.
of
Sure.
Stranger
There you
Things.
go. That's an excellent example. She's a minor character that has risen to prominence in Stranger Things, even though she doesn't do a whole heck of a lot and she dies pretty easily.
Yeah.
I think everyone was impressed with her bravery. Like she didn't like fight per se,
Yeah.
but she was,
She stood up for what's right.
yes.
You know, she's
Yes.
I just spilled beer on my waffle, and Luke and Jason have been dipping
We
their
were-
We
waffle.
tried. It
We-
didn't.
it was no.
I
You're
wish
right.
I wanted
It
to
doesn't
say
add a
so
lot.
much that I liked it.
It
I did
doesn't add
too.
a lot.
I was like, it'd be so cool if we discovered something really cool beer and waffles.
The next flavor.
It wasn't great.
No.
And just the unlikely hero, the chief, whom I didn't do any research, but I'd like to. I think the chief, his look and feel had a little bit of Chief Brody from Jaws.
Yeah.
And both of them had been big city cops before
Yes.
they came to their small
Yes.
towns.
Yeah.
So you kind of get this feel that
sure.
both of them are completely, they're just so bored.
Right.
Yeah.
With, like,
absolutely, there's some Jaws
Yeah.
parallels there
Yeah.
because Brody is someone who comes from a bigger city, and he's kind of in this town enjoying, but also not totally fulfilled by small town life, right? And Hopper's the same way, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And I don't know, I'm pretty certain
coffee and contemplation.
yes.
he jumps into the same Jeep that Chief
Shut
Brody
up.
does.
Oh
Shut
no!
A
Are
Jeep
you
that I
serious?
thought was designed specifically for beach terrain.
That's killer.
But I'm pretty sure
I
it
didn't
had the
notice that.
same open back.
Yeah,
I'll have
that's
to
killer.
do some research,
That's
but I'm
killer.
pretty sure.
What I loved about Stranger Things was how it catapulted some of these stars already into the upper stratosphere.
Yes.
You have the kid that played Will. You have the Chief who's going to be in Hellboy now. There was a heretofore unknown actress by the name of Winona Ryder, and she's been getting a little
yeah, she's finally
breaking
she's
through.
kind of the
after
breakout star.
a little bit. Yeah,
of the show.
She went a little far with some of her scenes. but-
Yeah,
I was proud of her. I was
So-
proud.
I think Millie Bobby Brown, now
Millie is-
11,
Yes,
has
man.
like over 4 million Twitter
she's,
followers
she's
now.
killing
Yeah,
it.
she's
What I
doing
loved was, what I
crazy
loved
stuff.
with her right after that is everybody was trying to make her into the next Princess Leia.
Uh-huh.
Like they were,
Oh yeah.
they were doing her up, and she looks just like Princess
She
Leia.
does have
as
a
young
look,
little
yeah.
girl.
Yeah, the last
So-
time I talked to her, she was real excited about portraying the next Princess Leia.
Yeah,
The last time you talked to her,
Justin's real tight with
real tight.
I like-
You
I like
hanging
that.
out with 11-year-olds a lot there, Justin?
Just love mine.
Okay. um. so yeah, David Harbour plays the chief,
Hellboy.
and yeah, he's Hellboy, which is pretty cool. Like, so that's
Really cool.
If those who don't know, they're remaking Hellboy.
Have you seen the pic of him? As
Yeah, he
Hellboy?
looked great to me.
Very
Long hair,
yeah.
which
Thick.
was cool. At first, when they first said that they were casting him, I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm a fan of Ron Perlman. I'm like, can we not
Yeah.
get him back? But once I saw the picture, I was like, okay.
Mhm.
Like, I can see it.
And then you watch the actor do his thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's nailing it. He's already kind of Hellboy
Yes.
in Stranger Things.
What I'm worried about is that he's going to lose his beer belly and dad bod that he had so prominently in Stranger Things 1, and now he's got to bulk up a little bit for Hellboy.
Yeah.
And I liked the...
You like the
That
everyman
chubby-
look
Well, you get Sean
of
Astin
David Harbour.
back.
Yes.
Sean
So
Astin
he
back.
gets-
So he
He
gets
can-
to be the...
Be the chubby dad
The
bod.
average guy.
Yeah.
I hope they do either a Rudy or a Lord of the Rings like reference. Like,
So
can they run out of the Upside Down and him say, "I'll carry you, Chief Hopper"?
I'm really excited about the new character Billy that's coming on to the scene.
Is this the new female character?
No, this is her brother Billy, and he was told he was coached to model his character after Jack Nicholson's character in not the golfer.
The golfer.
In The Shining. That was the energy that he was supposed to bring,
Nice.
and then they paired that with this thought that they were going to have more real life terror. Then Mad Max is the first episode of the next season, which is his sister,
which is great.
which is supposed to be some sort of new love interest for the
Yeah,
boys,
so
I guess.
so we've got episode 1 is Mad Max, and then The Boy Who Came to Life is episode 2, and then Pumpkin Patch, and then The Palace.
Excuse me, Pumpkin Patch just makes me think of Charlie Brown.
Yeah, dude,
Sure.
for sure.
The Great Pumpkin.
Great pumpkin.
We've got episode 5, The Storm, then The Pollywog, The Secret Cabin, The Brain, and The Lost Brother. Now, I say all that, and
Is there 8 episodes?
9
9.
episodes, and I say all that, and then
I was hoping for like 13
yeah,
or 20,
or 50.
50. Just
When we're talking about nostalgia and influence, what movies or media or show would you say people should check out if they like Stranger Things? Things that you
Yeah.
think influence Stranger Things.
well, and not even influence, but just in the same vein. Of
In the
things.
same
Like,
vein.
If you like Stranger Things and you want some more of that, what should we go to?
What
Luke,
can we
do you got?
suggest? Yeah.
Stephen King's The Body, also known as Stand By Me. I keep coming back to
Stand
that
By
one. I
Me,
think
great
that
one. Great
the-
movie.
you get the same feeling of these kids coming of age, and going on an adventure together. I
Yeah.
love it.
Oh, that's such a fascinating movie.
If you like the kid dynamic, for sure, Stand By Me. But if you just like the spooky sort of agency, conspiracies, cover-ups, X-Files, man. Check out X-Files. I
X-Files,
think
yeah.
they're all on Netflix, right?
I think so.
yeah.
Check out X-Files, man. Like, that's such a great series. Obviously, there was an influence there.
And I think with X Files, what people don't get is it almost has some episodes are pretty corny in a way.
Yeah.
But that kind of feeds into the enjoyment of
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Kind of
So-
like those little break videos
Yep.
where it's like a one shot.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
having some fun.
Yeah.
Yep. Justin?
For me, I mean, there's it's chock full. When he's showing 11 around his room and showing the Star Wars toys. It's right out of E.T. where E.T. has now been replaced with L, and he's doing all the voices of Yoda and all of his toys and just having a ball. I love that. But when there's a part, the two kids have kind of had a little tiff. There's a little bit of a break in the group. One of them sets off. We have a quick little montage cut of him putting in his slingshot and his walkie-talkie, and then he takes his camo bandana and ties it around his head. I'm like, this is Lost Boys.
Come on, man.
I was so jazzed, so pumped. Where, here they are, they're kids. They don't really have adults to turn to, and I think same thing in Lost Boys is like nobody believes that there's, vampires infesting this small town. So it's up to them to go and fight it, and we're gonna, the kids in Stranger Things, we're gonna find our friend. We're gonna do it.
If you really enjoyed Stranger Things and you haven't seen E.T. or Lost Boys, go right now and watch those movies. You will absolutely love them. They capture the same spirit. Brian, what do you think?
Well, and I was just going to say, you brought up an interesting theme that it's kind of a sad theme, but it runs through a lot of 80s movies, and that's the absence of parents.
Well, that's true.
And that's a bigger conversation for another time,
Yeah.
but...
What do they call it? It's the latchkey. The latchkey generation.
Latchkey generation. No parents, so you got to take care of things on your own.
Yeah.
And inspired in the same way as Stranger Things are, but a totally different movie from just a few years ago. Laika's ParaNorman. Now, this is a much newer film. It's a claymation film, but anybody who's seen ParaNorman knows this is like a Goonies, Stand By Me. I mean, it's a ghost version of Stranger Things in a lot of ways. It's a fantastic movie.
That's very cool.
One of the interesting things is like Stand By Me, E.T., Super 8. These movies didn't have sequels.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that we've really been able to see this kind of a format and this kind of a story get a sequel.
That's very
great-
interesting. That's a
great point.
really good point. Like, E.T. didn't have a sequel.
Yeah, how do you
Lost
make it?
Boys didn't have a sequel. Stand By Me
Direct to video.
Okay, I stand corrected. Justin would know. Stand By Me didn't have a sequel, and so we're getting. And I would say those are some of the biggest influences of, like, if you had to really pick 2 or 3 movies that absolutely influenced Stranger Things, yeah, it's E.T., it's Stand By Me, it's Lost Boys, and they didn't have sequels.
Nobody's mentioning Goonies here, by the way.
Oh.
Goonies for sure. So there's one movie that I think is probably the biggest influence of Stranger Things. It's Monster Squad.
No. Okay.
Come on, man, you know it.
What are we drinking today?
Voodoo Ranger 8-hop pale ale. What'd you think?
I'm usually not a fan of pale ale, but
Yeah.
I think I'd get this one again.
It's by New Belgium.
Who also does
Flat Tire.
Fat Tire.
Fat Tire.
That's why I like
Fat
it.
Tire, New Belgium.
Yeah,
Fat
That's
Tire.
usually my go-to.
Yeah, it's a good beer, and this is their 8-hop ale Voodoo Ranger. Check it out; it's pretty good. Stranger Things 2 comes out October 27th.
We're gonna probably watch it all in one day.
Yeah.
Yep.
So enjoy. And we just want to thank you for joining us on this new, fresh, special, strange episode of
Geek&Stein. Not here.